Welcome to the Property Talk, where we make sense of the real estate industry. If you're out there and you're in the real estate industry, anything, a manufacturer, a producer, an end user, an interior designer, an architect, name it, as long as you feed into real estate. And by the real estate is big. Today we are going to tell you what real estate actually is, just a glimpse of what real estate is. Because most of you confuse real estate for hotels and homes. Real estate is big. Real estate is a hospital. Real estate is a school. Real estate is a road. Real estate is a lot of things. But if you feed into any of those, then the Homes and Property Expo is your platform. It's the place you should be this 15th to 16th of July. To any of you, we have limited stalls left, so book your stall now. We actually have 3 stalls left, so book your stall now and be able to participate in this year's Homes and Property Expo. But it's the Property Talk. Let me not take you away from what's main today. It's the Property Talk where we make sense of the real estate industry. And on set with me is Dr. Rachel Mirembe Arinaitwe. Most of you have seen her in real estate corridors, real estate platforms, those big halls where you're talking real estate, that changing real estate, not this real estate of that house looks like this, or that bungalow should have been done this, or that hotel. No, the real voices that are changing Uganda's real estate. It's a pleasure having you on set, Doctor.
Oh, Crystal, thank you for having me here. My name is Rachel Mirembe Arinaitwe. I am a real estate lecturer at Makerere University Business School, as well as a real estate consultant. Good evening, our viewers.
Why doctor?
I am not a doctor who injects people. I am a doctor, PhD in real estate. So I pursued a PhD in real estate at the University of Cape Town, and that's why I'm a doctor.
So you saw when I told you that people that are changing the skylines of our real estate in Uganda, not just mere words, but the voices come with the background, come with paperwork, come with the volume. Today we have a topic that we want to talk about. It's what we are pushing for this year's Homes Expo. And many people, when they think about it, they think plastic wastage only, they think oil and gas only. They think a lot of things that are the big factor to it. Just even you, a small property owner, even you building your bungalow or your apartments for rent, you are liable to this. This concerns you, it touches you, and that is sustainability.
Wow.
So I would like to start with asking, why real estate sustainability and what is it?
Why real estate sustainability? Very good conversation. You know, sustainability looks at making the building environment in harmony, coming up with designs that are in harmony with the environment, nature. Sustainability itself is broad, but when I give you that definition, it's more of the environmental sustainability. Well, we have social sustainability, we have the economic sustainability and governance, hence the conversation around ESG. I think you've been hearing it. So sustainability in real estate is basically coming up with designs in buildings that are friendly to the environment. And why should our designs be friendly to the environment? I guess you've been hearing about global warming.
Everywhere.
And climate change.
Yes.
Recently, we saw Masaka Road being cut off because of flooding.
And now that's what now people do not know the effects that even real estate has on this global warming and climate change. But then they think it's just cutting down of trees and that is it.
Climate change is so real. And I keep telling people, you know, statistics shows that 38% of the carbon emissions or the bad gases that are emitted in this environment come from real estate buildings and construction. Now, let me break it down further. 28% of those emissions of the 38 are coming from the operations that we do, the day-to-day operations in these buildings. And 10% of these emissions are coming from the construction and the materials that we use to build. Hence, why sustainability in real estate? If we don't wake up to make sure that we're coming up with buildings that are friendly to the environment, we will see worse effects. We'll see more floods in Bududa. We'll see more floods in Kabale. We will see landslides in Kanungu. It can be so bad. So as real estate globally, we have come up to say, if real estate is contributing 38%, then we've got to do something. We've got to stop construction of buildings that are harmful to the environment. and hence the talk about green buildings. What are green buildings?
Thank you. I was just about to ask you, what are green buildings? Because when people hear green buildings, someone's like, so I'm supposed to plant all over my building something green, or do. Most people don't understand what green buildings are.
I have been perplexed by many people who say, "Oh, my building is green," and I keep asking, "Why do you say your building is green?" Because I have plants around the
Thank you.
compound.
Yes.
In commercial buildings, there are green walls,
Yes.
and they say it's green. No, green buildings. First of all, there are a few indicators that they should have. One, they should maximize on energy, make it as low as possible. That's the electricity we're talking about. They should use less water than a normal building or a traditional building. They should look at waste management, waste management reduction or handling, recycling. The air quality in green buildings should be superb, to the point. Free air flow.
Flowing. So you're reduced on the SCs and all that.
SCs
have
actually
proper ventilation.
Thank you. Green buildings. And lastly, something I want to say is they should be certified. What do I mean by certified? Yes. There are councils that come up with certification of these buildings. First of all, these buildings can be commercial, they can be residential, they can be industrial. But after all those indicators, it needs to be certified. Who is certifying? Many people are certifying. There are 5 common certifying councils around the globe. However, many others have come, but the 5 major ones, we have LEED from the US. We have the BREEAM from UK. We have one from Japan. It's CASE. Those are all abbreviations. United Arab Emirates has come up with the PAL rating system, and one from Singapore. Those are the most common and most used or prestigious ones. But there are other rating systems. How does your building get rated? Again, according to the different rating system, it will either be platinum, it will be gold, it will be silver, or it will be 5-star, 4-star, 3-star. So this is where I always get people. They keep telling me, my building is a green building. And I keep saying, who certified it? And which star? And then there you start seeing people go confused and silent.
Let me ask, in Uganda, do we have any green buildings that have been officially certified?
That's a very good question. I have been told of one residential place that is green. I am not sure yet because I've not seen the certification and who certified it. But generally in Uganda, we've been slow to green buildings. Several reasons that I'll explain to you later. But across the world, green buildings have existed. For example, for people who are familiar with the UK, there's the Crystal Building.
Yes.
Crystal Building is in the UK, London.
I've read about it and looked at its images on the net.
And they are wonderful. Yes. That building, that's water harvesting. That roof there you see, the water is harvested down into the basement and then is pumped back to the building. So it is not using water from the national grid of London or UK. The electricity they use is solar. They have solar panels across the building to generate enough energy for the building, for the entire building. Apart from that, when you look at their waste management, when you look at the air quality, they're good. That is UK. In the US, Seattle, have you heard of this building called Bullet?
No.
Bullet, depending on where you grew up from the pronunciation. No. So this building is also very green.
I should look that up.
Please look it up. And it's one of the icons in Seattle. Totally green. They used natural materials. I forgot to mention that when you're talking about green buildings, you should use materials that are actually friendly, environmentally friendly, and probably they should be locally sourced. Why locally sourced? To reduce on the toxic gases that come with the transportation of these materials. So the Bullet used locally used materials from the US. Like I said, air quality is good. They use solar panels that fires up the whole building. Interestingly, they use 100% of that energy, but 60% surplus is just there for other people to use out of the solar that they're using. Now, if you know Seattle, it is a cold state.
Yes.
You get it? So if they can survive with solar, then why not a person in Uganda where we have the sun
there, drive out and you're melting?
Exactly. So this is something that we should actually take upon. Cape Town, has many buildings that are green. Portside building right in the CBD of Cape Town. The many buildings in Century City, like quite many. Waterfront, there are many. But you say, oh, Rachel, you're talking about Cape Town, you're talking about the US, you're talking about the UK. The economies are not.
Now let's come back home.
Thank
Uganda,
you.
Rwanda, Kenya, Tanzania. Once I can say, okay,
Thank
this
you
one is
very
close
much.
to me. They are right at the, you know.
Nairobi has very many
Don't
green
shock me.
buildings.
Don't.
Yes, it
Don't break
has.
my heart.
For example, if you've been to Nairobi,
Because
and
you know, I was budding to wait for you to come home, and then I'm like, we don't have. None of us have.
we have Nairobi. If you know Strathmore University,
Part of it.
very beautiful facility.
Yes.
It is totally green. It's a university, not even a building. Well, we live along Strathmore University. We go to Garden City. Do you know Garden City in northern Nairobi?
Yes.
It has residences, it has offices, and it has a shopping mall.
Yes.
Very beautiful shopping mall. If you've been in Garden City shopping mall, the air that welcomes you as you're entering in is just so good. You get it? But it's
also
totally
green building.
Very green. And the concept behind Garden City was to have a work and walk area. So the residents come from their homes and walk to work. After walking to work, in the evening, as they retire, they go to the shopping center, pick milk, have a meeting. You get it? So you don't need a car. That is reducing the emissions that we're talking about. Yes. But leave alone that. That building has 3,300 solar panels that are powering energy. And it saves 30 million Kenya shillings every year in terms of energy. Who doesn't want that kind of saving? We've left Nairobi. Kigali next door. Kigali next door has green buildings. Have you heard of the Rura building in Kigali?
I just actually heard of it, I think 2 days ago. My daughter was telling me about it.
Yes, Rura.
She studies in Kigali.
Is totally green. Leave alone Rura. There is I&M building in Kigali, right in the middle of Kigali. I have looked at that building and I'm really, really impressed. If it can be done in Kigali, it can be done in Kampala, it can be done anywhere else. You get it? When you look at the roof of the I&M building, it is just, it was made in such a way that, so the building uses natural water from rain, and it has solar panels again on that building that give it energy. You may say, oh, Rachel, you're talking about energy and water only. Well, now, if you look at the I&M building again, it has concave windows. This concave windows and wall was made so that it can help in the taking back the heat as it comes in. So they don't need air conditioning. I enter buildings in Kampala, I enter homes in Kampala where you can't survive without an AC. You can't survive without the lighting. And I'm thinking, what is this? Can't we do this at home? It's not too yet too late. Well, so green buildings have all those features. And we have to accept that the buildings that have come up, the houses that have come up when they were not green, we didn't know. However, we can renovate, rebuild, make a few changes to make our building, they call it net zero, to get to net zero.
No, that I agree with you, Rachel. When actually the sustainability conversation started, my home was all enclosed. When that conversation started, we started to do a little bit of changes. We broke down some of the walls to create bigger windows for proper ventilation. We broke down some of the walls in the house to create open spaces so that they could not be closed off, so that there's aeration. We need to do these things at home. So, for you out there, dates you should mark 15th to 16th of July, 2023. And I will be hosting Dr. Rich again. Dr. Rich, it was a pleasure having you on set. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me here. And our viewers, thank you for watching.